everyone, welcome to YourPedia and this is Shubhya. So yes, as we are covering many of the exercises of text completion, and I always say in the verbal section, just relax, text completion is the easiest one. Do pause whenever you see a punctuation in a statement. Remember, you have to read it 2 to 3 times whenever you read a kind of a statement. Try to understand, build up a context or imagine something in your mind that what the statement is trying to tell you. And last but not the least, some of the vocabulary hacks that you need to remember, and yes, I'm going to tell you for that how you need to do it. We are posting high frequency words video also. You can watch them also because there are some set of high vocabulary words which are actually needed for text completion and sentence equivalence. So that is a master point. Do not forget, whenever you watch this lecture, you have to take your notebook and you have to write every important word. That is a kind of a hack because yes, we need to follow it out. More we read, more we're going to learn, and more we practice, more perfect we are going to become. So let's get started with this exercise now. So here it is exercise number 77 and it is text completion. So here, whenever you see a comma, am I able to see any kind of a punctuation mark? Pause. That's the first one. Then there is there, and the last but not the least here, and then we are giving it in a 2 options also. So these are the 4 pauses we have to make it. Now let's read the very first part, like what they are trying to say us. Notwithstanding, something new for you, so you have to underline it. Okay, this is something that you need to understand. What is the meaning of notwithstanding? Notwithstanding the mishmash of want tools. Want tools, I'll tell you what is this if you're not aware. Want tools littering every surface of the artist studio. So okay, we got a hint that they are talking about some studio section, and that is about a kind of an artist. So artist is some kind of a painter, it can be any artist. We don't know what kind of artist they are still talking about, but yes, the artist has some kind of a tools with him. So the place exuded a certain sense of order manifest through the clutter. The decor was if dash and dash. Now here you need to learn very first, we read it first and we got a generic idea. It is about some kind of an artist with his tools, and that is trying to portray something. Now we don't know what it is all about. Read it. Now read it. It's about notwithstanding. Notwithstanding means like in spite of, or you can call it as despite of. In spite of or despite of. So whenever you see this word, do not get confused कि notwithstanding का मतलब क्या है. बजाय की, in spite of, चाहे, सिवाय की, बजाय की हम बोलते हैं कि इसके सिवाय, चाहे. The mishmash of want tools littering every surface of artist studio. Mishmash is a kind of, you can say, the mess, the confusing state that is confused. Want tools are the used tools. Littering, that is being, you can say, messed up every surface of the artist studio. Now if you see some kind of a painter, you see painter का जो भी studio होता है, like suppose this is a kind of the art he was making, this is a kind of a scenery he was trying to make. उसके जो भी पड़े होंगे ना, like if you see some of the tools use कर रहा है वो, कोई यहाँ पे बिखरा होगा, कुछ colors के drops गिरे होंगे, and everything is all messy state. कि चाहे लगता है, in spite of all this mess that is created by the artist studio, like in the artist studio, every tool, like whatever he used, that is put in the all confusing state. Everything is being messed up in the artist studio. The place exuded a certain sense of order, but still the place is emitting, ऐसा लग रहा है वो place क्या दिखा रही है? The place is trying to showcase a certain sense of order. लेकिन फिर भी उस जगह को देख के हमें क्या लग रहा है? हर चीज़ ऑर्डर पे भी है, because we expect whenever you enter an artist studio, painter studio, you will expect कि सभी चीज़ें साफ सुथरी नहीं पड़ी होंगी. आपको लगेगा कि हाँ ऐसा ही होता होगा, because sometimes he needs color from here and the drops might be falling. तो आपको देख के क्या लगता है, चाहे हर चीज़ क्या है, जिंगल मिंगल्ड है, पर जाके देख के लगेगा कि ये ऐसा ही अरेंजमेंट होता होगा. दैट इज स्टिल इट वाज ट्राइंग टू डिस्प्ले अ सर्टेन सेंस ऑफ ऑर्डर. उस क्लटर के अंदर से भी, उस मेस से भी उनको कुछ ऑर्डर पोर्ट्रे हो रहा था. The decor, the kind of a decoration of that studio was if dash and dash. Now you have to learn जो पहली statement है वो हमें दे रही है एक हिंट कि हमारे टूल्स जो एवरी सर्फेस है आर्टिस्ट स्टूडियो का वो क्या है, बिखरा हुआ है. सो यू हैव टू टेक सम टर्म दैट इज नेगेटिव. सेकेंड पंचुएशन मार्क के बाद दे रही है दैट इट इज डिस्प्लेइंग अ सर्टेन सेंस ऑफ ऑर्डर, सो यू हैव टू गिव ए पॉजिटिव वन. इन स्पाइट ऑफ का मतलब क्या आ गया कि बजाय कि गंद पड़ा हुआ है, बजाय कि ऐसा है कि सब कुछ आर्टिस्ट का रूम बहुत गंदा देखने में लग रहा है, बट स्टिल वो एक ऑर्डर प्रेजेंट कर रही है. तो इसलिए फर्स्ट ब्लैंक इज अ नेगेटिव वन बिकॉज द पंचुएशन फर्स्ट इट वाज अ नेगेटिव एंड देन इट वाज अ पॉजिटिव. इन स्पाइट ऑफ द स्पाइट ऑफ में जेनरिक आ जाएगा आपके लिए, एक पॉजिटिव ब्लैंक, एक नेगेटिव ब्लैंक. एंड यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड पंचुएशन से पहले वाला कौन सा है, बाद वाला कौन सा है. हाउ यू नीड टू हिंट इट आउट. दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ स्टेटमेंट. नाउ लेट्स फोकस ऑन द, यू कैन से द ब्लैंक्स. Unkempt, dire and arduous. And if you are following the lectures, you will see these are the words which are repetitive one. They have already been done. Now unkempt is a state which is having a very untidy and appearance. तो unkempt का मतलब होता है किसी जगह का बहुत ज़्यादा untidy experience होना, बहुत गंद मचाना, that is unkempt. Dire is something that is very serious. So when you are in a serious state, when you're very cautious, when you are, you can say extremely, you are something talking about something grave issues, that is dire. Last but not the least, it's arduous. Arduous means when something that is very difficult, very hard, and something that is very about laborsome, tiring, that is termed as arduous. Second part, let's go for this also. Largely unsophisticated. Largely unsophisticated का मतलब क्या आ जाएगा, कोई चीज़ है अभी नेव है, unsophisticated मतलब लोगों को भी पता नहीं है उस चीज़ के बारे में. तो बोलते हैं ना जो नया है उसको ज़्यादा नॉलेज नहीं होती है. He's not an experienced one, so he's an unsophisticated one. He does not know about the rules and regulations, and that is a naive fellow. So that is what you call it as largely unsophisticated, or you can even call it as someone who is lacking, you can say refined worldly knowledge, someone who is innocent. Even you can use it in a positive way also, innocent or lacking worldly knowledge. So you can write it out because every word which is used, they have two meanings. One is a connotative one, other is a denotative one. Connotative word, if you can call it as the societal meaning which is attached with it. Denotative is a dictionary meaning. Like if you go for the word, you can say the female or something. So you in a dictionary you will get a biological definition of it. But if you go talk to about with the society, the female, so the person who is working in the home in the four walls, that's a kind of, you can say, the norms which are attached by the society with that word, that is termed as a connotative. So every word you will see a number of meanings will be there. So you have to check out which refined word put in that category. Positively callous. So callous is something that you would say is someone who is very cold-hearted. When one who is callous, someone who is very cold-hearted, or someone who is very rude to others, insensitive to others, that is termed as callous. Last is your surprisingly deliberate, that you would call as someone who is doing some things very intentionally, carefully, or something that is done on a purpose, something that is done consciously, that is termed as your surprisingly deliberate, right? So these were the words you have with it. Now here I have to tell you, now you have to choose the words. Again, notwithstanding, in spite कि सारा जो टूल्स थे आर्टिस्ट के वो बिखरे हुए थे, लेकिन फिर भी उस प्लेस में कुछ ना कुछ हमें ऑर्डर दिख रहा था. बिखरे हुए थे means the word would have seriousness. It's, we are not talking about something serious. We talking about something, you can say the arduous, that was very difficult, something that was very hard, laborious. No, we have only unkempt, that is something that was a kind of untidy experience, or untidy, you can say the place that was giving a kind of a presentation. That was why we choose the word unkempt. The place excluded, that is place presented a certain sense of order. Sense of order के लिए क्या आ जाएगा? Unsophisticated? No. Positively callous, rude की कोई बात नहीं है. No. Surprising, deliberate, और ऐसा लग रहा था देख के कि सब कुछ जान के किया गया है by the person of that artist, by that artist. So that is surprisingly deliberate, right? So here it is, you are showing the words. The tricky blank structure masks what is ultimately not so tricky word relationship, that of opposites. Clues for this relationship can be found with notwithstanding and if. So what are the two target words? In spite of, and the decor was if dash and dash. So if and notwithstanding. So if का कैसे आ गया आपके पास? दो आपके पास options आ चुके हैं. right? Then you have contrasting options, litter and otter. So here it was unkept, tidy experience, and you have surprising, deliberate, something was done on, you can say, the purpose. So unkempt is something that is not clean, that is tidy. Then you have an unkempt experience was least of the homeless man's worries. Arduous is something that is demanding a lot of effort, labor, difficult. Callous is someone who is very duty. You're calling to someone and you're speaking very bad to that person. That is termed as callous. Then you have litter. Litter, we all know, the kind of a garbage. You are scattering something, you're messing up something. So that is kind of litter. And then you have the word dire, something that is pressing out, or you can say demanding a lot of seriousness, something that is done very acutely, very deliberately. And then you have clutter. Clutter means demanding a huge disorder. Everything is jumbled up. And the last but not the least, decor. It's all about the decoration to have been made more attractive. The decor has been added, some kind of, you can say, the artwork that is done. So see, the words are very easy one. You have to target it out. Next time you see, notwithstanding in a text completion, you don't need to get confused. You have to think, in spite of, इसके बजाय, मतलब एक positive negative आएगा. If आ गया तो इसका मतलब contrast आएगा. So these are certain hacks, tricks that you need to remember. And now if I have to ask you one word, it would be callous. Callous is if you're calling someone and you're speaking very rude to that person. Dire. What was dire? That is expecting, or you can say huge seriousness. So these are the words that you need to remember. Note down every word which I'm pressing when I'm reading a sentence. Think about whenever you're reading a sentence, you see a punctuation, pause. Reread it again, and then you're going to be perfect in it. So do not worry about it. Just keep on practicing lots of exercises and try to recall it with me every time I come with a new exercise. Take care and have a nice day.